Reading English Classics Part 2. So we have begun with the Charles Dickens, and that's for the reason it's the era where the book is set. When the East India Company was intruding in India, creating havoc, trying to get India under their wings, and eventually the story of Charles Dickens is set in 1775, begins in 1775, and this is the area when the East India Company was trying to rule India, and eventually in 1818 the total India came under their wings. So that imperialism period, not just India but so many countries were under the British rule, and they said that the sun won't set on this imperial power. That's why I have chosen this. Otherwise I read English, but I chose this for the reason I have some good part, means as he says, it was best of the time and the worst of the times. So at the same time, how the time was best in England is seen in books of Jane Austen. So Jane Austen will show, I have read it, I will tell you something. The good part of 1775-1800 era of England. That was in the smaller towns, this is in the London. This is also in the Paris. So what is the purpose of reading all this? That will unfold eventually. But the baseline I have told, the purpose is they were not so good as they showed to be. They were in the turmoil and still they tried to rule the world. And as a part of humanity, we are quite against the imperialism. The imperialism, jihad, and the economical exploitation are the three worst things. So we are talking on the 30th of March 2026, and the world has been in turmoil today also. We are under the turmoil today for the same three reasons. People trying to get the power, political power, trying to get the power of wealth in hands, extract money from others, and trying to impose their religion on others. So this has become the same period now. After 1775, we are again under this imperialism of three kinds. So if the world together tries to increase humanity, which will negate the protest, the greed to capture the power, political power, greed to capture money from others, stealing, it's like stealing only. Stealing money this way or that way, and trying to impose their religion on others. So these three things are prevalent in today's war. It can be just against the war. We have to fight out the wars. And the Krishna fought with the war only. So, war for peace is not a wrong phrase. But this is not a war for peace. This is war for greed. And greed should diminish, go away, finish. Then only the world will remain in the peace. World will get peace and prosperity. As I said, I will not record another time. Maybe I am not that fluent. Maybe the accent is wrong. But for that matter, I can't record it 100 times. Huh? And I'm trying to learn English. I'm trying to speak English. But that doesn't mean that I should be perfect, because I am a Marathi person. So, being a Marathi person, there are limitations, and I agree with those limitations. What's going on for 5 minutes? We'll come to this, because these points are important. That's why I have started this book. Okay? I will have to write in small stanza also, because it's not possible for everybody to watch this video. So small stanzas will also go, which will say these things. So stop the imperialism. Why you are into that imperialism? What was your condition then? That is my question to the world. And it's not for just reading history or studying history. It's for the today's life. What we are up to in the today's life is we need peace and prosperity. The world needs peace and prosperity, and every person is not for this. Few persons are there, but they disrupt the whole world. So let's read this. So Dickens has sarcastically said that the wrong things should finish, should vanish. So in the year of our Lord 1775, so the story is set in 1775, spiritual revelations were conceded to England at the favored period. As at this, Mrs. Southcott had recently attained her 25th blessed birthday. So in 1750, what happened? He says that this is sarcasm. Huh? So Southcott was born in 1750. What happened is there were two earthquakes, minor earthquakes, in England, in London, in 1750. There was a soldier who said, this is the real story, and now here I will read the sarcasm, but the real story I will tell you first. So you need this video or AI. This is the first time that I have taken the advantage of AI for my videos. I never did it, but I had to, because Upanishads and Jnaneshwari, I have read thousands of pages. I know the Mahabharata, Ramayana, not this, London. That's why I took the advantage of this. So if you want to know this first page only, you will have to go through my video or with the AI, and you will understand. So this, I hope this will be more amusing for you rather than going and finding out and reading all this. So you will know other views also for the humanity. So this is the 1750 when this Southcott was born. Then what happened was there were two minor earthquakes, and there was a soldier who rose up and said that another third earthquake will swallow the London. There will be third big this thing. And according to him, the prophetic private, so this was, we also say sometimes, the Lord's scope, Lord's anger. So due to the Lord's anger, this is going to be a earthquake which will swallow England. So hundreds of thousands people fled England, poor, aristocrats, so many people fled England and lived outside countryside. They remained there for a few days. Nothing happened. And that soldier was jailed eventually. He was sent to sanatorium. So that is what happened. And the people were so believing in the superstitions and all these things that they fled. And they also believed that the South Scot is the savior who will survive us all of all dangers. And she did lots of things. So he said in 1775, her 25th birthday was there. Of whom? Who is she, the South Scot? He is telling, of whom a prophetic private in the Life Guards had heralded the sublime appearance by announcing that the arrangements were made for the swallowing of London and Westminster. So I told this story now. So she was born at that time, 1750, when the swallowing was to happen. Didn't happen. Swallowing of London and even the Cochrane coast had been laid only around a dozen of years. So there was another superstition. So people believed in superstitions. They believed that the certain things are going to happen, spiritual things are going to happen, and everybody is going to suffer and somebody is going to survive them. Be a savior out of that. So this is what he says as a sarcasm. Sarcastically he says that Cochrane Ghost and Joanna Southcott illustrates England was just as prone to spiritualism and hysteria as his own Victorian time. So this is a Victorian time when he is writing. In the Victorian time also, 1885, when they ruled the world, England was just as prone to spiritualism and hysteria in 1775 and in 1882. So this was the time. Arrangements were made for swallowing of London. So a tale of two cities part context is prophecy. The swallowing up refers to a prediction of earthquakes and destructions. And the satires highlight the credulity of the period, comparing it in other superstitions. So there were two superstitions, that it will be swallowed, in London will be swallowed, and the Cochrane ghost. I have not found out what the Cochrane ghost was. Then we will eventually find and I will tell you. But this had been laid only around a dozen of years. So 24 of years before this happened. After wrapping out its message as the spirits of this very year past, supernatural, deficient in originality, wrapped out theirs. Mere messages in the earthly order of events had lately come to the English crown and people from a congress of British subjects in America, which, strange to relate, have proved more important to the human race than any communication yet received through any of the chickens of the Cochrane brood. So, this became the most important thing for these people, for those British people. And they, not just the people, but the crown also believed in this. Congress of British subjects in America, which, strange to relate, have proved more important. So there was a message from the America, some revolution and all. But this was neglected. They were not interested in all this. The France was also under the revolution. They were not interested in all this. They were interested only in the spiritual coming of the God, and the panic was spread regarding prophecies and spiritualism. And then after, that lady at her age of 65, so after this 1775, 15 years after that, so in 1790, say, or 800, 1800 something, at the age of her 65 age, she said that I am pregnant and going to give a birth to the new prophet. So, and she said that she will write cheats. She will write some cheats. The one who has the cheat will survive of the danger. Out of everything that ruins the country, only people will survive who have those cheats. If you are the cheat, you will be survived. You will be a person who survives, or your family. That was also said by that lady, and that was also digested. Many people followed her. Hundreds of thousands of people followed her, thought that she is the mother of prophet like Mary. And the things went on like this. There are so many other things that will come, that will follow. So, sorry that the fluency was not that good. The accent went off. I was going to try for an accent, but for that I need to remember by heart. Then I could go for an accent. But I am not remembering by heart. I will never do that. So, that is the period in England. Those are the people in England. On the contrary, I will read the book of Jane Austen, where she said how the woman had a freedom. It was correct. And in the first lines, Charles has also said it was the best of the times. It was the worst of the times. So this is the worst of the time. And the best of the time was women were empowered, started having powers to choose their brides. So many good things. The people were generous, helped each other. The people were gentlemen. It was also there. And this was also there. No light, no darkness. Actually, yes light, yes darkness. Today also, we are in the period. Yes light, yes darkness. In India, we are going through another period, in which the Hinduism strives from being ruined. At the same time, the superstitions are also here, as in the case of Baba Karat and all. Here is the case, the period of corruptions also. So today, India also, it is the best of times, it is the worst of times. So, in my humanity lectures earlier, I have said that I can relate people, English, small town, to be around me in 2000 of India city. So, I have some people around me which were in the Jane Austen's literature, similar to them. So, over and all, humans, not every human is same, but the humans in general remain to be the same. And now I can say the times are also same, not exactly congruent, but similar. So that's why all that we need is to try to be a better human being and ask others to be better human being for the better society, which will create peace and prosperity for the whole world. Now not just America, but the world has become an singular entity, amalgamation pot. Something happens in Iran, we are affected. Something happens in India, America is affected. Everything is due to Corona also. Everyone was affected by something else. So we are all under one roof now. So what we need is to try to be a better human being, a better society and a better world for the betterment of all. Isn't it? So that's all for today. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much.